This will break up the day.
Right. Okay, let me get rid of this.
Is the angle okay?
Yeah, yep. It's right, it's on the painting.
So it's not like there's questions and answers.
No, I just thought, I want to write something about the painting. Like a little statement about each piece when we get finished with them.
Okay. So how do we start?
Well,
Are we recording now?
yeah. I guess, do you want to talk about
How did
what
it
we
start?
did?
How did it start?
Okay.
Do you remember?
Well, I went first. You and I took turns on this one, back and forth.
Yeah, we did. Well, that was always the concept, right?
Yeah. Well, and the second one, sometimes we painted on it together.
Right, but this one was back and forth.
Yeah, this one was back and forth.
And how did it start?
With 3 red balls.
The 3 red balls,
Yeah.
and then did he show up, the guy on the left?
Yeah, and then you took a turn and you drew the guy.
The guy on the left.
Yeah, the guy on the left. You drew his outline.
And then you?
And then I did the tongue that came out of his mouth.
You did the tongue.
And the squirrely thing attached to it that turned into a face.
Ah. And how did the face happen inside that green thing? I remember that green thing was there in the middle, and in my mind I saw a face coming out of that with his body underneath that. Is that what happened?
Well, the first thing was I didn't want the guy just standing in space, so I put him on that gray box. And then for some reason it started to look a little bit like a bed to me, so I did the green square thinking that was a headboard.
Oh, wow.
And then when you had a turn, you put a face on it.
Because I saw it as a window.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I saw it as a window, and he was looking through the window, and then his body was underneath the window with the legs and the arms.
So the body's on the outside, and the face is looking in through the window.
He's looking, yes.
Okay.
And when did Titslega happen?
Before the 2 guys or the 2 people
On the ball?
Big ball. Yeah.
And what did you think when neither of the 2 guys, or the guy and the chick, we don't know which one's which, but what did you think when you saw neither of them had any arms?
I didn't notice they didn't have any arms.
It didn't
matter. I
matter.
just noticed one was talking.
Talking?
Well, the one with the tongue.
Yeah.
And then the other one kind of looks in shock to me.
No, to me he looks like he's not in shock. He's feeling very comfortable.
Okay.
And which one do you think is the male, and which one do you think is the female? Do you have any idea?
Well, let's go back to the honeymooners. I think the one with wagging her tongue is the female.
That's what I think too. And what about the guy on the far left with the long neck and the hands and the feet that's very skinny?
He looks like a totem pole to me because he has multiple faces and he's tall and thin.
And in my mind, when he got created, he was last, because there seemed to be this whole space on the left that needed a character. And it needed a character with 2 faces, which just sort of evolves. It's never planned. you know, you'll notice the two tongues, one going in one direction, one in the other. And I think the tongue on the left was small because there was no room left.
But it wraps around the canvas.
And that is in your mind. And what do you think about the hairstyle? Do you think that they comb it that way, or it just happens? What do you think?
I don't know if there are any combs involved.
So this is just sort of what evolves.
This is how they wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like what the overall theme of the painting is.
It could have something to do with the shoes of Titslega and the other character. They have the same shoes. Do you think that has something to do?
No. I mean, they're all talking.
They're all talking.
They're all talking. It seems to be like the overall theme seems to be about communication, maybe.
And do you think the fact that you're saying that they're all talking, but you're also asking me, does that suggest that neither of us really know what's going on here?
Well, I'm just trying to think of what the theme is, and that, you know, there's a lot of tongue wagging.
There is, but you're trying to figure out what the theme is, yet you're an integral part of the artistry, and yet you don't know. Now, I don't know either, and I want to know if the fact that neither of us know has anything to do with how this happened.
Well, I think there's a message there. I think we have to parse out what it is.
And what do you think that message is? And do you think we need therapy?
I still think it's about communicating.
It's about communicating. So we have the couple next to Titslega. They're communicating, and there's something going on there. Do you think it's sexual?
No.
No.
There's some kind of conversation.
And do you think they're in agreement or disagreement?
Disagreement.
They're in disagreement.
Well, it seems like the conversation is one-sided. Because only one of them has their tongue out talking.
And it's kind of interesting that the guy on the right doesn't even have a tongue. Or unless it's so inside of him that it never really came into view. What do you think about that?
I'm sure he has a tongue. He's just not wagging it. There's little silent communication over there. He's this Titslega's trying to hold this guy up.
Oh.
He looks like he needs assistance.
Yeah. And like you obviously created the shoes. Did you see those shoes?
I heard them.
You heard them. Oh. I see. You heard them. And what do you think about that red line that goes from the far upper right and it goes around and around, but it seems to suggest a face? Did you see that, or did that just happen?
Yeah, I saw it. It started over there. I wanted to do some kind of line. I started at the tongue. And then I just started, and it ended up to look like a nose and an eyebrow.
Now, you never communicated that to me, and yet it still seems to have some validity in terms of the whole theme. Do you think that there was some subliminal communication between you and me?
No.
No.
Another character.
Just another character.
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters in there.
7. I see 7 as well.
Yeah.
And one of them with that long red line, that squiggly line, is the 7th character, and that one is just sort of subliminally there to me.
Just a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But the eye and the mouth, the nose, eyebrow.
Yeah, we all see that. But you wouldn't necessarily see that unless it was suggested to you, unless you saw that and you had the same disease that you and I have. It's interesting.
I think other people see that face.
You do think that?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
How could you miss it?
I see. Well, there you have it. And so, I just have one last question, and then, of course, I'll leave you to the rest of your day. If you had to name this piece, what would you name it?
Well, let's brainstorm some names.
Well,
Talking definitely is a word. There's 7 figures.
well, there are 7 figures and 4 other objects. Would you suggest that this picture is suggesting 7-Eleven?
What are the 4 objects?
We have that gray thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. We have the shoes. Well, not 7 objects, 7,
4 objects, you said, right?
right,
7 people and 4 objects, 7-Eleven.
right. And 7-Eleven suggests good luck, doesn't it?
Or a Slurpee. What are the 4 objects?
The round balls
Oh, okay. The 2 balls, the green box and the gray box?
and the gray box.
Okay.
So we have 7-Eleven. Now, do you think that has any significance from a subliminal standpoint?
I don't know. We've never gone to a 7-Eleven.
That's true. But, without divulging my actual birthday, my birthday is 7-Eleven.
Divulging.
And do you think,
Oh, so is this a painting about your birthday?
do you think it could be,
It
and
could
that this could be a birthday present
Oh,
to someone?
to you?
No.
Okay.
But I thought I'd mention it just to sort of pick your brain, to just find out what's going on in your brain, you know, to try and figure out, how did this happen? What made this happen? Let me ask you this. How did this happen and why? Just, can you answer that question?
No, it was just an organic process, back and forth, like a dance. I work, you work, I work, you work.
And
Work,
what does
you
this
work.
have to do with dancing? Is this like the twist, the frug, the hucklebuck? What is this? What dance?
Well, you know, the green guy looking through the window, he kind of looks like he's dancing with his arms and his feet.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so that this might be picking up these characters at a nightclub? Dancing?
Maybe.
And just out of curiosity, let's say, look at all these characters, that they all were dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And-
That guy wants a cut in. He's asking
Whoa.
to cut in.
Whoa.
This guy's dancing by himself.
And the guy in the green mirror, he's looking through saying, whoa.
I like to dance.
Yeah.
And the guy with the mask couldn't find a dancing partner, so he made one up himself.
Whoa.
He made his own partner up.
Whoa. So do you think, and the guy on the far left with the 2 heads and the tongue and the 2 tongues, he's looking in there saying, hey, what about me?
He's waiting to find somebody who looks like him that he can ask to dance.
Hmm. So, if dancing is the theme,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think we should call this painting? Dancing with Strangers?
Dancing with wolves.
Dancing with Wolves? An interesting concept. And my last question is, let's say you're right, that these are dancers of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
After they finish dancing, what would you imagine these people would do? Would they go together, like, and go get a pizza? What?
Oh, maybe they all made friends.
Hmm. Hmm.
Went to go get food before they went home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And are you proud of your contribution to making this particular
Yes.
painting?
Mm-hmm.
And what gives you the most amount of pride when you look at this, knowing your contribution and your interaction with the other painter? Where does your pride come from?
The saturation of color.
The saturation of color.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I like the bright areas that pop.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And what do you think the person that looks at this that says, oh my God, I need this in my house, what do you think of that person's taste?
Well, they're looking for something unusual that no one else has.
And do you think this satisfies that craving?
Definitely.
Okay. Well,
Very definitely.
there it is.
Could you imagine if somebody had an orange sofa?
Whew.
This would look nice behind an orange sofa.
It would indeed.
Mm-hmm.
It would indeed.
Yeah.
And it would inspire that person. And can you imagine when that person hangs this painting and one of his friends comes over and sees this and says, whoa, what is this?
Where'd you get that?
Yeah. And why?
No.
What would the
People
person...
never ask why.
They don't say why. Okay.
No.
Right.
Unless they think that you actually did the artwork, then they'll ask you some questions.
You know, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I'll be totally forthcoming. I really want to meet the person that buys this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet him. I want to become his friend.
So
and
you can visit?
Yeah. And I want to talk to him on a regular basis and ask him how he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I bet you he's going to want to talk to us. And there you have it. So, do we
What
want
are we going to call it?
Oh.
Do we have any idea?
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This is a difficult question. What are we going to call this thing? Do you have an idea?
The talk of the town?
The talk of the town.
Uh-huh. Because, you know, it looks like they could be gossiping.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting title.
What do you think?
And this one is the first one of our collection.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about the beginning of a problem?
Something's in the wind.
Something's in the wind, the beginning of a problem, and I think the name of this painting will evolve over time when we see it in context with the next couple of paintings that will become part of this entourage of artistic expression. Now, what do you think? Do you want to name it now, or do you want to give it a little space and time?
Well, we have a few names.
We do.
I think we can pick what the final name will be later.
So
But I think we have some good ideas.
We have some good ideas.
Mm-hmm. Why does it look like the beginning of a problem to you? Can you tell me why you think that? What's the problem?
The problem is, if you look at the world, we are faced with a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
This suggests that we're acknowledging the beginning of that problem with the hope of an artistic resolution to follow. And this is number one,
Mm-hmm.
and several more renditions are on its way, and we will find a solution with these characters. And that's all I have to say at this time. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Mm-mm.
And do you think we have sufficiently covered where we are at this point? And my last question to you is, who is your favorite character in this particular rendition of artistic expression?
The guy with the mask.
The guy with the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Not Titzlager.
Mm-mm. No.
The guy with the mask was a total collaborative.
It was, and that's probably why I like it.
Yeah.
Because I could see both of us in that one.
Yeah, we're totally in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're going to make somebody very, very happy.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Look at all the, like the second one that we're working on is really bright and colorful, whimsical,
Fishy.
fun to look at, fun to talk about, fun to show off. If you have that's our second painting in a prominent place, people remark on it when they come in the house.
Mm-hmm.
This one draws me more, like I could stand and stare at this one for longer than that one.
Really?
That one I kind of can take in, see what's going on. This one, I don't know, there's just some kind of atmosphere or something to it that makes me just want to stand and stare at it. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, this one is definitely finished to me.
Yeah.
This one, that's it. You don't add another thing. You could, but it's not necessary.
No.
This got so many different things.
It's a great start.
Absolutely. And there you have it. There's our interview.
Yeah.
We asked each other the questions and we answered the questions. Can you imagine one day if somebody actually interviewed us? Ooh, that would be too much. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
We did our little interview.
Yes, we did.
And how do you feel?
Good. I have to come up with a paragraph out of that.
Very nice.